The question swirling around the extent of President Trump's reciprocal tariffs has Wall Street on edge, according to a well-heeled Manhattan-based money man. The amount of economic uncertainty as is measured is so massive now that markets really feel like they are on a razor's edge, said one top New York hedge funder who spoke to the Post on the condition of anonymity. In mid-March, the European Commission, the EU's executive body, proposed boosting military spending and pooling resources on joint defense projects as Europe girds for decreased U.S. military engagement under President Donald Trump. Some of the proposed measures could mean a smaller role for non-EU companies, including those based in the U.S. and the United Kingdom, experts say. In a March 25 meeting, Secretary of State Marco Rubio told the foreign ministers of Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia that the United States wants to continue participating in EU countries' defense procurements, the sources told Reuters. According to two of the sources, Rubio said any exclusion of U.S. companies from European tenders would be seen negatively by Washington, which those two sources interpreted as a reference to the proposed EU rules. One Northern European diplomat, who was not part of the Baltic meeting, said they had also been recently told by U.S. officials that any exclusion from EU weapons procurements would be seen as inappropriate. The U.S. concern about limits on arms purchases reflects a tension at the center of the Trump administration's Europe policy. Trump has urged European allies to spend more on defense and take greater responsibility for their own security. As it does so, the EU is looking to bring manufacturing in-house in light of the U.S. president's suggestions that his commitment to NATO is not absolute, while the Commission insists there are ways for companies outside the EU to compete for defense funds under the proposed plan. Arms manufacturers outside the bloc would in practice face a number of practical and administrative hurdles. The Trump administration, like previous administrations, has pushed for European purchases of U.S. weapons before, including at this year's Munich Security Conference. Some of the sources consider the recent messages from Washington as a continuation of U.S. policy.